What's up, everybody? Happy Friday night / Saturday morning. I hope that folks have found some fun things to do, especially in the big cities where there's a lot of things in effect about not going out and not being in groups of over 50 in some places, over 250, 150. It's all over the place, but essentially, nightlife as we know it is largely coming to a screeching halt. So, in the spirit of that, it looks like it's going to be time to stay in, which is a great time to either get into video games if you're not yet, or number two, watch a bunch of movies. Or three, you're into video games and just play a bunch of them. So, would love recommendations for games to play. I have plenty of things to do in World of Warcraft, but I think now without as much of a break to go out and do things, it's going to be interesting to find things to do. That being said, there is no actual official self-quarantine in place. There's no one that's told me I need to stay in my apartment. I've kind of decided that with the food I have in my house and the fact that this is a great opportunity to focus on personal projects, I actually am going to limit how much I leave my apartment, except for cases of extreme stir craziness, or if I have other friends who are seemingly fine, which everybody pretty much is. I don't know anyone who's symptomatic, but I think that there have been a number of posts and now the podcast that I've seen the past few days on the New York Times. It just really looks like everyone's really stressing an abundance of caution, especially because of the issue that a large influx of people getting it could cause for our healthcare system. So there's basically just a lot out there that says, that what people are seeing where you've got nurses and doctors saying that much like the situation in Italy, if there was to be a massive influx of cases, there's stories of them having to do like triage, essentially war triage decision making, where they're deciding the worst cases are not being treated. And then in some cases they're having to let people die. Now, I haven't 100% seen that's true, but I've heard it from people that I really trust in the medical community, so nurses and doctors. So I just think that whether it's true or not, I think that about the supply of respirators and the triage decision making, I think the fact that the U.S. healthcare system is not really prepared to have a massive influx of people in hospitals with the same conditions is probably true. And we should all do, even especially the healthy ones of us, should do everything we can to not accidentally become a transmitter. I think that the biggest thing is that just because we would recover and be safe and not suffer too much at the cause of this disease, being infectious and being able to transfer it to someone with a poorer immune system or with a pre-existing condition makes you a threat to society and to them as a whole. So you can't be selfish. You have to focus on, like, it's the beehive. The good of the bee is the good of the hive. So we all have to be thinking that way right now, just making some decisions we maybe would rather not make. I, of course, would love to see my friends. I saw a friend today for lunch, but kept it one-on-one, went to a bar, made sure that I got a table that was a little further away from people, since they're recommending, they being the WHO is recommending, be between 6 and 10 feet away from other people. So it is possible to go out and experience the world and to get out of your space when you can, but self-isolation and smart social distancing are two big things. I've now been talking for almost 4 minutes and haven't talked at all about games. Doing great. Made a lot of progress today. I had a record today, actually. I had 7 viewers for quite a significant amount of time, and I had an average of over 5. So not big numbers, but for me they're big. I think the other thing is that I got my first 2 donations or tips on the stream. So tonight I made $5 streaming. So of course that's not enough to make a living, but the fact that it's just so incredibly humbling and almost overwhelming how thankful I am for people to even want to give me money. Like, that's just an insane concept to me. So I guess I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, going to keep being supportive and talking to people and being a positive force in the streaming community and in the WoW community, and then using that to hopefully keep growing and reaching more people and helping more people enjoy games and to have us be there for each other in this community. Progress-wise, continue to gear out my warrior to get her to a place where she is going to be competition and tournament ready. I also had a friend recently rejoin the game, join me tonight and get started on a new character as well. He's going to be playing a rogue, And so I'm helping him gear up that character. We got him up to the point where he's ready to start doing lower level mythics. And by the end of the weekend, especially since we're both probably going to be staying home for most, if not all of it, we should be able to get him pretty well geared out. So that's just some thoughts about the coronavirus, which of course everybody's thinking about, and of course I'm having trouble getting away from as well. But then also thinking about games and where I'm going, missing out on the Keystone Masters because I'm just not ready, don't have a team. But I may be getting a bunch of my old team back together, and that's makes me very hopeful, makes me very excited. But I am going to continue to focus on me and what I can do best, because I think the most I can do to get tournament ready, I don't know necessarily that my friends want to compete. It's more about just being happy that they're playing the game. It doesn't necessarily mean that they'll end up being my competitive team. So a lot to think about, lots going on in the world. Again, sending love to everybody, take care of each other, and I will talk to you soon.